Hold up, wait a minute. Before you buy a book on a trending list, make sure you watch this video. Hey, how's it going? I'm Mikey, and this is Comics by the Cover. If you're new to the channel, I first want to say thank you. If you are returning to the channel, thank you. You're super awesome. I appreciate you greatly. Again, if you're new to the channel, you aren't familiar with this video, what this is a weekly response or reaction video to ComicTom's top 10 list. What happens is every Thursday, Key Collector puts out their trending 20 of books that are currently trending. On Fridays, I then start a poll on my Instagram asking my followers on there if they are interested in these books as something that they want to purchase or buy, or these books that they are looking to pass on. And occasionally, sometimes books come in split. Then on the weekend, Comic Tom puts together his top 10 list based off this trending 20. I then take those ones from that top 10, recompile them, see how they currently polled, and then I put together this video as a reaction or response video. We ask ourselves again, are these books that people are interested in wanting to buy, or are these books that people are looking to pass on? And in addition to that, we then try to dive a little bit deeper to see if there's any opportunities or spec plays that we can make based on these books, because oftentimes if you buy a book when it's trending, you may have missed out on it. So this tries to get you an opportunity to find books prior to them really hitting the list. So kind of a short-term spec playlist option for you. So with that said, coming in at number 10, we got Superman Convergence, number 2. This book pulled a 3664 pass. The reason why I hit the list is, of course, it was the start of a new title, which has a focus on Jonathan Kent. They said the question, nobody was specking on this book except your boy right there. I kind of bought into both of these characters both books for Jonathan Kent. The reason why is because I started buying into some of these future state characters such as Jonathan Kent, Jackson Hyde, Red X. I started buying into them back in September, October of last year, the moment they announced it, because I really think this is something that DC really wants to embrace, and it gives them an opportunity to really kind of bring in some new readers with some fresh characters, but not step so far away from those characters that they're not recognizable still. So I really like these aged up characters quite a bit. With that said, this book is going to be very similar to a lot of the books on this list, which begs the question of, what do we consider a first appearance when it comes down to some of these characters? If you look at Jonathan Kent's situation, yes, he appears as a baby in this issue, but when you compare it to, say, like Cable appeared as a baby on issue number 201, but that's not the Chase book. The Chase book is issue number 87 when he appears in full and on the cover. Let's look at some of these books when it comes down to him. Of course, the first was being Superman Lois and Clark number 1. This is when he first appears as Jonathan Kent as a boy with no powers. Then in issue number 8, he discovers that he does have powers. And then finally, the book that I personally feel is the Chase option, again, is the Superman number 6, which is going to give you that cover appearance. It's also going to give him in costume, and he's going to be known as Superboy at this point. So coming in at number 9, we had Moon Knight number 1. This book pulled a 7228 buy. This, of course, is a book people are interested in wanting to pick up. This is when he takes on the Mr. Knight persona. I'm not that familiar with Moon Knight, to be honest. I don't think I've really read any Moon Knight books ever. So I had to do some research when I was kind of looking into this character a little bit to see, okay, well, what's exactly going on? We know we got the series announcement, and there's been a few castings such as Ethan Hawke and I think a female lead as well cast. So where do we place these characters? The first thought that came to mind was, okay, there's a familial connection, so brotherly connection with Randall Spector. So that would be my first thought process to go to, is Hulk 17 for the first appearance of Randall Spector. But again, this is a situation where, is that his first appearance? Because in Moon Knight Mark Spector Moon Knight number 35, we discover, okay, that character, the Hatchet Man who died in that character, was not Randall Spector, but was this character in issue number 35 who makes a reappearance, and that's his brother. And then he later in issue number 36 takes on the mantle of Shadow Knight. So that's my first option I would say go to. The next option would be, of course, Marvel Spotlight number 28. This book has already trended before, and it's definitely a hot book. But this is the first appearance of Marlene, who is his love interest. So that's going to give that nice quick connection as well. And then finally, the other book that I would say is the first appearance of Midnight in this issue right here, because this is a character that has ties to Secret Invasion later, and that's I think is going to be a big part in what we're going to see in the upcoming MCU is a lot of the Secret Invasion stuff coming up. So coming in at number 8, we had Sam Wilson, Captain America, number 3. This book pulled a 67.33 buy. Of course, this book was another Falcon Winter Soldier spec. Again, I said that this book was probably going to start trending, and of course it did. No surprise there. I talked about this book a lot, I think in my last video or a couple videos ago, so I'm not going to go too much more deeper into this book. You can watch those videos if you are interested to want to know more about this issue particularly. There are in the bottom of the videos timestamps, so you can kind of go through there if you want to particularly find that particular issue. So coming in at number 7, we had New Avengers number 40. This book pulled a 54.46 buy. This, of course, kind of spun around some Secret Invasion casting rumors that caused a couple other books to trend as well. We had Marvel Spotlight number 32. We also had Secret Wars for Julia Carpenter's Spider-Woman. And then finally we had Astonishing X-Men number 6 for the first appearance of Abigail Brand. Personally, that's where I think this character best fits in, because we got rid of the lead or the head director of the Sword Agency, so that leaves that position vacant, and it makes perfect sense to have a new character come in there and have that character be Abigail Brand personally. But with that said, looking at this particular book right here, I did previously pull back in February as a 60/40, so kind of staying in the same trend line there. But again, not only is it going to give you the first appearance of Queen Varanki, it also going to give you the first appearance of Droge, who is the scientist Skrull who kind of helps set off or get the Secret Invasion started. Again, this is another, okay, well, what do you go with book? Because again, Queen Varanki does make her first appearance in this issue, and she's revealed in this issue, but technically does kind of appear as Jessica Drew in New Avengers number 1. So is that her first appearance? Again, going back to the poll, I think this would be the book that would be the chase, the New Avengers number 40. When it comes to some of these scrolls, I think, it's going to be that point where we're going to need to start looking at, okay, what scroll characters are we going to want to buy into? And with that said, I think the first one, actually, you know what? This is a great time to do it. Cover price play, because I have a lot of these books here, so we'll kind of look at these prices and see how they kind of pan out. We're not going to talk about the Scroll Queen's appearance in issue number 40, and we're, obviously, like I said, this again is the first appearance of Droge, who makes this appearance in here as well. So again, we're not going to talk about that book. We're also not going to talk about Fantastic Four number 2. Of course, this is a kind of a costly book, so I'm not going to talk about that one. And Fantastic Four number 18, who gives us the first appearance of the Super Scrolls, which is also a costly book, so we're not going to talk about that one. So that picks us up at She-Hulk number 22 for the first appearance at Jacinda. Again, this is the book that started as the first appearance of Jacinda, but she doesn't appear as a Skrull. So we have to ask ourselves, is this the book, or do we want to get She-Hulk number 23, where she actually takes on the Skrull form? And I think that answer is She-Hulk number 23, personally. Next up, in this book, of course, that book I previously pulled. So we also had Talos. He previously pulled an Incredible Hulk number 418. You can see that pull right here. Again, this is a cameo appearance, and it's not until issue number 419 that he takes on the cover appearance as well as a full appearance within the issue. So personally, I like 419 better of those two books. Then we look at Nell. Nell first makes her first appearance in Fantastic Four number 37. You would think that this is kind of a pricey book, but it actually was not as pricey as I thought it was going to be, despite being an early Fantastic Four issue. Of course, if you're not familiar with Nell, she is the mother of Hulkling. So she's going to have that direct connection to bring Hulkling into the MCU, which puts together that Young Avengers team. So I can see this be a book of interest for Skrulls. And then, of course, we have Dork number 7. Again, he does make his first appearance technically in Fantastic Four number 18. He doesn't get named until Fantastic Four 205. But this has a double key here, because this is also the first appearance of Nova Corps, which may be a book of interest when it comes down to the future of the MCU. Next up, we have Clyburn, who is a Skrull Eternal. He made his first appearance in Incredible Hercules number 117. It was a cameo here. Then in issue number 119, we get another cameo. And then finally, we get a full appearance here in issue number 120. And then finally, hopefully this character won't appear just because I'm not a fond of it. And that's Godkiller, who are Skrulls, super Skrulls that take on additional powers to fight characters such as Thor and other gods, which may be something that you do see in the Secret Invasion. As we know, we are going to get Thor probably. We're probably going to get Hercules, and we're probably going to get Zeus. So coming in at number 6, we had Secret Warriors number 6. This book pulled a 3169 pass. Of course, this book was where we had the reveal of Contessa Valentina as Madame Hydra. No surprise here. We talked about this book last week. This is probably going to be a book that would be hitting the trending list, and here we are. He did mention that she does technically make her first appearance in Secret Warriors number 2. I think this is also a good pickup for the first appearance, not only for Madame Hydra, but the first appearance of Hive, who appeared in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV series. And I think that we could be seeing this move of the smaller MCU from shows like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. shift to the bigger universe, because you don't really see that up pool. So you don't see characters coming from the smaller MCU going upward, but we're already hearing those rumors with Daredevil, potentially Punisher. So Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. would obviously be an easy shift. I think there's been some rumors about Daisy, the actress who plays Daisy, doing some filming, so we might see her coming up in the next MCU phase, as well as the actress who plays Bobby Morse. She may come up as well in the next phase as well. Books I would say that you want to keep an eye on, of course, will be Secret War number 2 for the first appearance of Quake from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., as well as Marvel Team Up number 5 for the first appearance of Mockingbird, or Bobby Morse. Even though I know she does appear prior to this issue and other issues, I think this is always going to be the book of chase when it comes down to her appearances. I think that's pretty established and pretty well known. The other thing about this spec is it caused a few other books to trend as well. The first was Dark Avengers number 1, which pulled as an 80-20, and then Incredible Hulk 449 for the first appearance of Thunderbolts, which pulled at a 79-21. Because the thought is, okay, what team is she putting together? And I know a lot of people are going with these two books, but I'm going to go with a couple other options for you. The first being Mighty Avengers number 13. This is the first appearance of the Secret Warriors. It makes a logical sense to build this team because it has closer ties to Secret Invasion, I feel. So I think that might be an option for you. This book had previously pulled as well. I think the next option that you may want to consider is a team that actually made its first appearance in the 90s. But first, we want to talk about the current iteration of it, which is ForceWorks 2020. This book came out, of course, last year. But this kind of team that consisted of War Machine, who's already in the MCU, Maria Hill, who's already in the MCU, and again, if we follow that spec of shifting up some of these smaller characters from the smaller MCU to the bigger MCU, we may see Quake, we may see Mockingbird, who are also members of this team, and then finally the round out is U.S. Agent. So ForceWorks 2020 might be a easy spec book that you can pick up for around cover price, if not less. You may be able to find it in a dollar bin. I have no doubt about it, but interestingly enough, when I was doing my research on this, again, ForceWorks makes its first appearance in ForceWorks number 1 from the 90s. This is a 90s and 90s books. You got all kinds of specialties on this one. You got front and back cover, so full cover spread there. You got a pop out on this book. And you got characters that are so 90s you can't believe it. But the interesting about this book is this gives you an initial team of Scarlet Witch, Iron Man, Wonder Man, Spider-Woman, and U.S. Agent. And the interesting thing about this one is the way this team works is they use Scarlet Witch's powers to create this Hex mainframe, in which they try to predict events before they happen. And so they kind of send in this team of people in there. And when I looked up this book on cover price, I saw something interesting. This book had a unusual spike in sales. So this will be my pick of the week for a watch book, as it may start trending up because other people may be jumping on this ForceWorks team as well as a possible speculation. So coming in at number 5, we have Darth Vader number 1. This book pulled a 65.35 to buy. People, of course, are starting to buy in some of these bounty hunter books. I think last week we had Star Wars Lando pulled as well. If you aren't familiar with these, you can go to CBCI? Is it CBCI or CBSI? I can't remember. I'll put it up here. But they have a fantastic list when it comes down to these Star Wars appearances. They're really dedicated to this franchise and updating this list regularly. There's no list that's more full than this list when it comes down to first appearances in Star Wars. So that is definitely something you may want to look at. I'll put a link down below for their website. And then we do know we have Bad Batch set to premiere on March 4th, 2021. So again, as some of these appearances start to happen, you may want to go to this website to quickly source and find those appearances, especially if they're really obscure characters. Coming in at number 4, we have Batman Fortnite Zeropoint #1. This book pulled a 2674 pass. Of course, it started trending because it was tied to the Fortnite promo. I know nothing about Fortnite. I know it's a game. That's about it. And I know a lot of people play it. I don't know. Maybe people don't play a lot now. I don't know. I literally know nothing about Fortnite. This series could resurface, I would say, in the long term as a book that potentially may come back as a niche type collecting when it comes down to video games. So video game collectors may try to find this book later. It is a 6-part series. So if every one of these books is going to offer a promo code, then I would say it's probably a good bet to go ahead and pick them up if you're looking to flip or sell these books, because if this book had a $20 average price, then the other ones may also trigger a $20 average price. Otherwise, if you're not really interested in it, I will say if the one book that's probably going to be the hottest may be issue number 3, because this is not only going to give you the Fortnite characters, this is going to give you Batman, and it's going to give you Snake Eyes. So that may be a book of greater interest when it comes down to which one of those 6 books would be probably my pick of that lot personally. So coming in at number 3, we had Captain America #25. Again, this is another book we talked about previously. I said it's probably gonna start trending again, and it did twice. So we talked about this a couple weeks ago, I think, that when it was on the downtrend, and here it is up on the uptrend now. This, of course, is the first appearance of Sam Wilson as Captain America. Yeah, you really kind of want to look at the next couple of books as possibly trending in the upcoming weeks. I would say, again, being the all-new Captain America #1, and then the Sam Wilson Captain America #1 as well. I think both of those books may be trending in the next few weeks, and you may see Tales of Suspense number 75 for the first appearance of Sharon Carter, which previously pulled at 6733, trending in the next few weeks as well, because we know that she's going to be playing a bigger part in the overall MCU. Coming in at number 2, we have Marvel Special Edition #15. This book pulled a 92.8 buy, so this was a very, very high, buy option pull. This, of course, is the first appearance of Shang-Chi, so no surprise there. We got that trailer that really put people on hype. I stated last week you'd probably see Master of Kung Fu #26, which did make the broader list of the trending 20, even though it did not make this top 10 list. And you can see that book did pull as a 5644, so we did say that book was probably going to be popping on this list, and here it is. So with that said, some other some other Shang-Chi books that I would say of interest maybe first off would be Invincible Iron Man #53. I think this is Legacy #398 if I recall. This is the first appearance of Temujin, who is the son of Mandarin. We know Marvel loves its tropes, and I can see that, and we know Shang-Chi clearly can't be evil. So I can see Marvel bringing in this second son trope, where, okay, we discovered that Shang-Chi has a brother, and that brother is going to be Temujin, and he is going to be the brother that the Mandarin doesn't want. And he will want to take it in the role, and to replace the fact that Shang-Chi did not. I want to buy this book on eBay. And I'm certain you can find this book in a back bin. So look in the back bin before you turn to eBay on this book, personally. Now, if you want to go to eBay, that's your choice. Your money, your choice. And finally, coming in at #1 was Marvel Comics Presents #72. Again, this is a book last week I said it was probably going to hit the trending list, and here it is at #1 on the list. This, of course, was the origin of Wolverine. Just started spinning around speculation around some of the Weapon X and Weapon Plus program. It's what I figured would happen, so no surprise there. I'm just going to go back and revisit my Dakin theories. But before we do that, I just want to do a correction. Last week I stated that Romulus made his first appearance in Wolverine issue #55. That is not correct. I don't know what I was thinking. That's when his name is first called. He's another one that has a confusing appearance ratio. He appears in shadows all over the place, and then eventually he does make his first appearance in Wolverine Origins #39 in Cameo, and then his first full appearance in Wolverine Origins #40. So, sorry for that correction there. But going back to Dakin and the weapon, etc. program. I'm going to stand on my belief that Dakin will be our best intro into this program, as well as our best intro into seeing Wolverine appear in the MCU. I can see Marvel not wanting to go the same route as Fox and giving that same origin story. And if you aren't familiar, this origin was broadened in this run of Wolverine. So you get some ties to Winter Soldier, so I can see them wanting to pull in that. We may get Silver Samurai in the Shang-Chi movie, so you may get that connection there. With that said, I think the characters that are most interesting when it comes down to the Weapon X program would be these 7. That would be Nuke, Dakin, Cybertooth, Cyber, Omega Red, Wild Child, and of course Romulus, to bring them all together. So with that as the thought, these are your considerations for your books. Daredevil number 32 will give you the first appearance of Nuke or Frank Simpson. Then in Wolverine Origins number 10, of course, was the first appearance of Dakin, but he also makes his first full appearance technically in issue number 11. So that book, of course, previously pulled as a 60/40 buy. Of course, Iron Fist number 14 is going to give you your first appearance of Sabretooth, but that book might be out of reach for a lot of people, so you might want to go for that second appearance in Power Man and Iron Fist number 66 for that second appearance of Sabretooth. The next would be Marvel Comics Presents number 85 for the cameo appearance of Cyber, or his first full appearance in issue number 86. Then X-Men number 4 will give you your first appearance of Omega Red. This book previously pulled as a 95.5 buy, so that's a high interest book already. And then finally for Wild Child, you can get that first appearance in Alpha Flight number 1, technically. But as you can see based on this panel, it's I had to read through this book like 5 times trying to find his appearance, and then I was like, wait a second, is that him? Yeah, that's him. So I want to consider that his first appearance. I think his first appearance will be Alpha Flight number 11, where we actually get him more in full. So with that said, as always, that is your list. Those are my thoughts. Those are my considerations. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. Otherwise, that is until later, and a bye.